I'm just saying this from a professional point of view. We love you today. We hate you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you can't even let the good parts of social media get to your head. Get over it. Get over it.
I'm gonna cry.
And there's no point in crying about that face. It seems to me like he was just one big mistake.
Yo, this smile right here cannot be fake. This is a smile of someone who's genuinely super proud. I'm gonna start by saying that I often forget that I'm only 20. I, in my head, feel like I'm way older than I am, and yo, that ish is annoying. I'm 20, I need to calm down and just remember that like these are all blessings, and there are some people my age who maybe haven't accomplished what I've accomplished, and that's me being humble. Bitch, I'm not wearing any scent that's cockiness right now. The scent I'm wearing is humbleness, okay? Genuinely, I'm super proud of myself, super proud of this series. Episode 1, we had Gabby DiMartino, such a cool girl. Episode 2, we had D'Angelo Wallace. I felt like I got to know more about him, and it was just super fun. And now episode 3, I mean, flipping hell. Jackie Aina, what the actual beep? Can't curse, we have kids watching. I've already gone and got Jackie Aina. This is gonna be the last episode of You Probably Don't Know This About Me. Oh yeah, I forgot to introduce. Welcome back to episode 3 of You Probably Don't Know This About Me. This is the last episode before I take a mini hiatus with this whole entire series. It's been super fun being a journalist for like, I don't know, 40 minutes per episode, but like, bitch, that ish is exhausting AF, and I will return when I feel like it's a better time, but I also will return with some more controversial guests and some people who I probably am not the biggest fan of. I feel like it'll make for a dope interview too. I had a lovely conversation with Jackie. I think it was a couple days ago. Was it a week ago? Truly can't remember. I don't even know what day it is today. I think it's mental. Yeah, we had a lovely conversation, and I just got to know more about Jackie. I got to ask her questions that I've been dying to know, and questions that probably you guys watching at home would love to know as well. Her being a businesswoman, but also being a black woman comes with struggles, so we definitely had some conversations about that. I touched on my own story as well. I didn't want the whole entire conversation to be race related. I think that some people do use their race as a personality trait, when in reality you're definitely more than that. Whilst I do think you should stand strong and confident and bold in your skin, you have to remember that like you can't make that the conversation starter all the time. Like sometimes you're just a businesswoman who happens to be black. You're a business guy who happens to be black. I didn't want the whole entire conversation to be race driven, because I felt like I maybe know where Jackie stands and lies with certain things already. Checking out other interviews and also just watching her channel. So I didn't want any repetitive comments coming up or repetitive statements coming up. I just wanted it to be about Jackie, who she is as a person, how she got started, all the fun stuff, and also like the dark side of being a beauty influencer, a beauty guru. And yeah, I think it made for a brilliant interview. I'm super happy that our energy balanced off of each other. It just bounced off super well. Nothing felt forced. She genuinely watches the channel, which is super dope. You will see towards the end of the video. Don't skip though. Be patient. Towards the end of the video, you can see her actually singing my intro song, which is absolutely mental. Speaking of intro song, might as well plug it. It's Get Over It by Keisha Sade, aka me. I'll link all the important information of both my stuff and Jackie's down below in the description. Super grateful, super blessed. And yeah, I do want to also say that at the beginning of the interview, you don't see Jackie Aina because the screen recording literally flipping messed up. Don't even want to talk about it too much, but you guys can still hear it perfectly. You can hear me, so that's all fine. I make up for it because the whole entire interview is flipping greatness. Be sure to share the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Let's go and find out some more about Jackie Aina.
I think this should be better. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. Alright, so let's begin. What is up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are joined with Jackie Aina. She doesn't really need any self-title, but let the queen do it herself.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you, Jackie.
Videos.
I've literally been watching you for years. I know everyone says that, but I truly have. So this is really like a big moment in my personal career, and I feel like you literally ended off the year for me with a bang. I hope you feel comfortable in this interview, and yeah, let's just get to know a bit more about Jackie Aina. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay,
Make
so
sure my phone is on silence.
yep. This is really... Wait, hold on, let's do your intro.
Let's do it.
Okay, 3
1, 2, 3.
Jackie. This is weird. Oh my god. Okay, let's just get started. Okay, so first question would be, what inspired you to start a YouTube channel?
So I love answering this question because I feel like so many people assume that I like came from money and I came from wealth.
Yeah.
When they see where I am now, and it's like that could not be further from the truth.
Yeah.
But it was really just kind of like the quintessential like being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Honestly. So I started my channel in 2009. That was literally when I uploaded my first ever video. and I truthfully had no interest in being a YouTuber whatsoever. Like, I was not trying to be a YouTuber at all. I just wasn't really, like, the thing is, like, even though I know how to, like, be fun and upbeat when I'm on camera now, but, like, it's taken me years to really be myself on camera. Back then, it was just, like, I just did not want to put myself out there like that. I didn't really like being in the spotlight. I didn't like a ton of attention. I didn't really, like, I just was not interested in being, like, the face of something, and really just being on camera. Like, I just had no interest in being on camera. But at the time, I was married. I'm obviously not married anymore, but I was married. And that was when I lived in Hawaii because my ex-husband was stationed there. We were both serving in the military at the time. And I was in the reserve. So basically it's like being part-time in the military. So I didn't really have like a lot of stuff going for me at that time. I didn't have like a full-time job. I wasn't in school. And then to make matters even worse, that year was the year I was supposed to have graduated college. But I had to drop out of college because I couldn't afford college. So it was almost kind of like I was having like a midlife, you know, like when you have like a midlife crisis, but like in your 20s. That year, 2009, was like all the years my friends got their degrees, and I'm just here like married, miserable, broke as hell, and like I was going through it. So it was really my best friend that was like, well, just, you know, you're already watching YouTube, you might as well. And I was just like, no. I kept telling her no, and then finally I was like, well, I don't have anything else to do.
Exactly.
So
Look at you now as well.
It was literally just like, well, I mean, I'm not really doing much else, so I might as well. And it just kind of like, it didn't really take off. Like my growth kind of happened in stages throughout the last 11 years, but that's how it started, was truly just like being miserable and like not really having a lot going for me at the time.
Why do you think a lot of people feel like you came from wealth?
People have short-term memory. This is, on social media, like a lot of people just have short-term memory. Like I've seen a lot of different conspiracies about my background. I don't know. I guess people just don't really know, or maybe it's hard for people to picture, like, how did you get from that to this in such a relatively short amount of time, you know, because 11 years, like, some people work their whole entire lives to be able to reach a level of success, you know.
It's
so
very true. Would you say there was ever a point where you wanted to quit and give up?
Maybe not quit. I don't know, maybe not quit. I think the first like 5 years, truthfully, being very honest, like I didn't take YouTube very seriously the first like 4 or 5 years. It was always just something that I did. Like at that time I wasn't really thinking like, oh, this is gonna take off, this is gonna blow, or like I need to be consistent. I wasn't thinking, there was no strategy. Like I was just posting videos at random. So I wasn't taking it as serious the first like half of the decade. And then after, when I was like, okay, I should commit to something. If it's not going to be doing makeup professionally or, you know, something in the beauty space, like I need to commit to something. So I started to like really put in more time and effort into social media, into my YouTube channel specifically. And then, you know, it's had its highs and its lows. And I've definitely thought about like, how do I want to like leave my mark on social media? Like I do think about that a lot. I don't think about quitting per se, but I want to make sure that like if and when that time comes, like I ended on a high and I'm not just like booted out, like or canceled upon oblivion. Like I hope that would never happen to me. But I do think a lot about like what would my exit strategy be like in the future, you know, if and when that time comes. I think about that, but not like flat out. I've never really had that moment per se.
See, that's really important, actually, what you just said, because I feel like every creator on this platform, you can have your fun and games and enjoy it, but I do feel like you should at least be able to say, okay, I accomplished this, people knew me from this. So what do you feel like people are going to remember you by? The person who, you know, had tons of banter, who was entertaining, did her makeup? What do you think you were going to leave your mark on this platform as?
I honestly, what I would hope, you know, what people interpret my content as is obviously on them, but just based on the feedback that I get, the interactions with my viewers, the people that I meet, some of the things that I've accomplished, like I just want people to be like, wow, Jackie was really funny. And as a black woman or as a dark-skinned black woman, like she really made me feel amazing. Like I felt beautiful because of her. I saw something in myself that I otherwise probably would not have seen, you know, because there's just so many negative images about what it means to be a dark-skinned black woman living in America, living worldwide. And I just want people to like come to my channel and be like, nah, she made me feel good. Like, she made me appreciate my dark skin.
I can definitely say you've done that for me. I mean, I didn't really wear makeup until... I wasn't really allowed until I was 16, to be fair. But I can definitely say, when I did get into makeup, you were definitely one of the first creators that I saw able to look at you, create looks, and just recreate it as well. I might not be as good as you, but I'm still trying. So I love how, literally, you always kill every look. Literally.
You know what, though? But I feel like, I mean, I'm glad that you said, first of all, thank you for supporting my content.
Of course.
I love that, like, you were able to, like, see yourself in my content
Definitely.
to a certain extent. But, like, I want beauty to be fun because, like, if you think about it, like, historically, we've always been strategically left out of beauty cosmetics and hair specifically. And so when people come to my videos, it's okay if you're not the expert. Like, I don't care. Like, and that's why people, like, when I meet people, they're like, oh my God, I love your videos. You're probably judging my makeup. I'm like, girl, I'm not thinking about your makeup. We're all doing our best. I'm not here to judge.
Yeah.
Like, I may crack little jokes in my videos, but they're not serious. It's just me, like, you know, just keeping the content fun. But I truly do not want people to, like, take beauty as serious as it used to be taken 10 years ago. Like, I want people to just be like, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, it washes off.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. So we were talking just now about how before we leave the platform, we want to leave our marks. I think for me, it would just be, I want everyone to voice their opinion when they can. Obviously, like, choose the right timing, but I don't encourage people to technically gossip about people. I think with my channel, I hope that people can take the message of, I'm just voicing my opinion on something that I find a little bit concerning or worrying or something we can all learn from. People expect commentary channels or drama channels to just fall off quickly after we've had our wave or we've had our hype. But I mean, I like commentary videos, I'm not gonna lie to you. Depends who's doing it though. I do prefer watching black creators. I don't know why. Maybe there's more relatability, they're more funny, I don't know. But what do you actually think about commentary channels? Do you like them? Do you watch any of them?
I do. So in addition to yours, yes, I do agree. I do tend to kind of gear towards black commentary channels. One, because they truthfully don't get the recognition that a lot of them really should. You know, blame it on the algorithm. Let's just say, for example, somebody got into some beef and it's like a whole bunch of moving pieces and I'm just like, I'm so confused what happened.
Yeah.
Let me just look it up on YouTube. Let me see if somebody else is talking about it. They can give me the rundown. It saves me kind of like the work of having to like read every tweet and like, okay, like, because honestly, things in social media move so fast that sometimes it's easier to just get a 10-minute condensed video where someone's just explaining what happened.
Exactly.
And then, oh, okay, I get it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like, yes, there are definitely some, well, there's a difference between drama channels and commentary channels.
Thank you.
Like
Thank you, Jackie.
Popular culture, I think it's a very different category. I do think drama channels have kind of died fully. Like, no one that I know of, like at least the people that I follow, like I don't know anybody that still watches them or checks for them. That's just personally me. The ones that like literally end up in the mess too, I would consider those drama channels. So I feel like they've kind of fizzled out. But commentary is like, you're not really giving your opinion. You may, but you're just kind of like talking about what happened and you're like leaving it up to the audience. Like, what do you guys think? Or, you know, so I kind of like just focusing on that kind of content. Because sometimes, like, I don't really care what you think. I just want to know what happened. I want to know what happened. You know what I mean? Like, all that other stuff. And especially when it's coming from someone who may not be black and may not have experienced the same stuff that, like, you or I may. Yeah. So they're giving commentary, and it's like, girl, you're definitely, like, you're trying me with this one. Yeah. Your perspective is not something that I can relate to, and I don't really need this. Exactly. I just want to hear what happened, and now you're just making it worse than what it actually was. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. That's what I like about your channel is you're just like, you're young, you're black, like you're such a like. I don't know. It's like it's good, and also because I'm 33, it's like, what does someone who's much younger, like, what's their perspective? You know, I never want to get to a point where like I stop learning and I stop like listening. So it's nice to just hear a completely different perspective. Wow. From a different age group.
I like that. The next question would be, how did you get into makeup and what made you want to surround your content with makeup? You could have literally came on this platform and done anything, but you chose makeup.
True. Well, I chose makeup because, well, actually I'll backtrack. I got into makeup really, I would say probably around 15, 16, but I wasn't allowed to wear it. Like I wasn't supposed to wear it, so I would just kind of like do it at home. Okay. And I was also kind of shy, so like I didn't want to like not be good at it and then be embarrassed wearing it out. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really until like I was like 17 where I started getting more comfortable wearing it out in public. I would try different things. So I kind of like discovered it the same way most women do. Like, we just naturally are like, oh, I'm curious, you know?
Yeah.
And so by the time I got to college, I actually kind of ended up being like pretty decent at it. So like, I would practice with my friends. I would do my friends' makeup. Literally anybody that would lend me their face, I would play around with them. And also, I just really was like fascinated by like facial anatomy, sculpting the face, shaping the face. That's something about that just really fascinated me. So when I started my channel, in addition to being bored and depressed at the time, this was also at a time where I started doing, like, I actually started charging people for makeup. So I started doing makeup professionally.
Okay.
And so every time I would go to like a department store or a makeup counter, and I would say, hey, like, I need nude lipsticks for dark skin, they'd be like, oh, that doesn't work for your complexion. Wear red, or they'd be like, wear purple, or do this instead. It was like, anytime I inquired about something, they tried to talk me out of doing it because of how I looked. So I just started getting annoyed. So I'd be like, all right, like, I'm gonna stop asking people for help, and I'm gonna just learn how to do this stuff myself. Yeah. And so when I started my channel, that's kind of what I essentially started with. It was kind of like this built-up frustration of constantly being told, you can't wear that because your skin is dark. That won't flatter you because your skin is dark. You can't do this because your skin is dark. And I was like, actually, I can do all of that, and I'm going to show other people how, because if I'm curious about this stuff, I'm sure there are probably other
exactly. Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started. And I would, like, take, like, back then, people would watch, like, Pixie Woo, and they would watch, like, Michelle Phan, and they would watch, like, all of these popular white and Asian YouTubers. Yeah. And I would take their looks, and I would make them, like, chocolate girl friendly. So it's kind of like what I started with and what I was doing back then.
Well, I mean, I'm going to speak for all the black women out there who do watch YouTube and watch you specifically. I do want to thank you, because I feel like, well, I'm not sure if we're the exact same complexion, but I think maybe I'm 1 or 2 shades darker. But whenever you do swatches on your channel, I'm like, okay, yeah, she swatched it, she's this shade, I'm probably 2 shades darker. So it's just easier to just find a creator who I can go to. And like you mentioned, it wasn't the same a couple of years ago. So I want to thank you for at least trying to get out and being consistent. And I feel like anyone watching right now who is dark skinned, boy or girl, who's been watching you for a numerous amount of years can definitely say that you've definitely did what you had to do. You've definitely been consistent again, which I appreciate, because it's easy to have fallen off. So you being where you are right now, I feel like it's very well deserved.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Thank you.
So what did...
Go on. But it's not even just me. There's a lot of black creators back then that were really, like, taking one for the team. Like, all the orange foundations we had to work through, all of the experimenting we had to do was, like, for the benefit of our audience. It was like we made those mistakes so that, like, everybody else didn't have to. We was going through it.
What did your parents think about you starting a YouTube channel, by the way?
So at first they were confused. Didn't really care, because they were like, I mean, you're just doing that YouTube thing. Yeah. It was actually kind of embarrassing, like, the first 5-6 years, because then when you're at work, people would, like, talk about your channel, and then like, please stop, like, we're not doing this right now. It's so embarrassing. And then you go to, like, African parties, because my dad's an immigrant. So my mom is from here. She's African American. My dad's an immigrant. Okay. So my mom was kind of like the hippie, and she'd be like, "Oh, just do whatever you want. Don't really care." Like, she never asked questions. Like, she's like, "It's really not my business. As long as you're not asking, you know, as long as you're not depending on your parents for money," which I still was, but she didn't really care. But my Nigerian side of the family, like, you would go to, like, African parties, and they'd be like, "You're doing what?" Like, so if anybody asked me any type of question, you know, they ask, like, "Oh, how's school? How's work?" Like, I would dread the question, because I knew what was to follow once I answered the question. It would be, "Why don't you get a real job? My niece is an engineer. Why don't you do that? My so-and-so is a lawyer."
I hate that.
It's so annoying. It's like, I just came here to get some rice. Like, can I just get some jollof, please? You're giving me a life lesson, girl? Like, I didn't ask for this. You know,
exactly.
Thank you.
I mean, I feel like my situation is a little bit similar. For me, when I started, they were just confused, like, what are you doing? Especially, like, you having a camera in front of you, what are you going to do with it, was literally what they were thinking, especially because they don't really use social media. So it was even more of, like, a foreign thing for them. But, I mean, in the end, they got used to it, and they're supportive of it, which is amazing. I feel like some parents aren't supportive of what their kids are doing. So I'm really fortunate to not be in that situation. Okay, so on to like a lighter topic. Who is your favorite music artist and favorite genre?
Favorite music artist and favorite who?
Genre of music.
Oh, genre. Okay, so genre. I'll probably have to say R&B.
Okay.
So my favorite artist. Do I have to pick one though?
No, you can pick like 5 at most. Give me 5 good ones.
Okay, definitely Sade.
Okay. You know that's my middle name.
Huh?
That's my middle name, by the way.
No way.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it full on Sade?
No, it's just Sade. I'm being serious. Oh. Yeah. Thank you.
I need to put that like on my future baby name list. It's actually a really good name.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So Sade, I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Classic, timeless. I mean, I would say Drake, but I don't know what he's been doing lately. You know what though?
Yeah.
I respect it because people say the same thing about me.
Okay.
And then I get annoyed when they're like, your content's different. It's like, well, my life is different.
Yeah, exactly.
I have different interests. So with artists, like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You gotta respect it. So I'm not gonna judge, but he is definitely one of my favorite artists.
Yeah.
I definitely have to say I love Missy Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
She has shaped so much of like my teenage years. I mean, she's a legend.
Yeah.
Amy Winehouse, period.
Mm-hmm.
Like the best to ever do it. And Michael, rest in peace.
Yes, definitely. I was waiting for you to say his name. What's your favorite thing to do out in LA? And do you feel like LA is actually worth the hype? Because I remember a couple of years ago, every single YouTuber was moving to Los Angeles. I'm like, girl, I'm not moving there anytime. I'm in London, so...
I wish they would leave, actually. So I'm from here. Let me tell you something. The thing about LA...
Yeah.
The thing about LA, and people might not like this answer, the thing about LA is there is no hype for people that are here because we're from here. So it's kind of like, I have a different experience than people who have like, you know, transplanted here from somewhere else. So to me, I don't see hype. Like, this is just where I'm from.
Yeah.
There's definitely pros and cons about living here. I definitely wish there was a stronger African community in LA.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard because LA is so big and it's so spread out. It's really hard to maintain a sense of community. Like, for example, like when I'm in London, it's like every other person is Nigerian.
Yeah,
you know,
it's true.
Specifically of Yoruba descent. They're just everywhere. In LA, you don't really have that, so that can kind of be annoying. But, you know, also I feel like you don't really have to, like, be here to be successful, which is the great thing about social media. You can be successful from wherever you live.
Yeah.
It's convenient. Sure, it's convenient because, you know, a lot of brands are here, a lot of connections are here. I don't see myself ever living anywhere else now because my fiance is British. I'm sure you probably know. And,
shout out to you, Dennis.
The conversation has come up, like, where are we going to make a life?
Yeah.
And, you know, where are we going to start a family? And I told him, like, pretty much very early in the relationship, I hope you don't think we're moving to London because I'm not. You have to figure it out because I'm not leaving LA permanently. Maybe a little cute summer.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But I'm not leaving LA, period.
Was that exclusive to you? I feel like no one knew that.
No, I've been saying I'm not leaving LA. I constantly talk about how I will never permanently, I say permanently.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't mean I won't be bi-coastal, but I'll never, like, pack up everything and just permanently leave LA. Well, I don't like to say never. Things can change, but like,
exactly. Okay, yeah, fair enough. That's like me, though. I don't think I would live in the United States. It's just, I can't even get into that because I might even get dragged. So let me just be careful. But, like, I think I can just take a vacation and that's it.
Yeah,
I don't mind London.
Because US is so, I mean, there's so much. It's actually funny hearing, like, people from the UK and Europe talk about the US because you guys talk about the US like it's one city. And it's actually really, really diverse. It's huge. So, like, what you would experience here is really very different from what you experience in the South or in the Midwest or on the East Coast. So it's like, I get why people say that, but I think when people say, oh, I don't like the U.S., they're really talking about, like, two cities. New York and LA.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And it's like, it's not really how it works.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So big, but don't look. Get you a nice house, honey. Get ready to buy if you haven't already bought.
I haven't.
You don't need to leave your family if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Trust me.
No, that's actually really good advice for anyone watching as well. It's really true. Do you feel like there was a timestamp for your life? Like, do you feel like there was pressure put? Did you feel like at 25 you had to be a certain type of way, and then at 30 you had to have achieved something and make this amount of money in your account?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, who hasn't? Especially like when you're, and I just did a video about that, about like expectations we set on ourselves, especially in our 20s. I will say though, I feel like when you get to your 30s, that veil kind of lifts, and you don't really think about this doesn't apply to me, but I think some people who like want to have kids by certain ages, so there's that, but it's a lot less pressure, at least for me. But yeah, I definitely felt in my 20s, especially my early 20s, where, you know, when I dropped out and then my other friends went on to graduate, and I kind of felt like it was even more depressing and more stressful, because it was like I'm supposed to be there too. But I had to learn, like, you just have a different path. It's not a better path. It's not a worse path. It's just a different path, and that's okay.
Exactly.
You know?
So being a Black creator comes with many struggles, as you would imagine. What would you say has been the biggest struggle for you? Maybe payment, maybe it's just the amount of brands who haven't reached out to you. What do you think has been your biggest struggle? I can tell you mine afterwards.
Oh, so you should tell me yours first.
Okay, so
I'm
mine...
curious to know what the differences are.
Okay, so the biggest one for me, which just really annoys me, and maybe anyone who does the same thing that I do, who is Black, would be able to relate. So people just think that I'm immediately being aggressive. People think that, like, you can be passionate, which I think I am. I think I'm a...
Story of my life. Story of my life.
It's really annoying because people mistaken that. Like, I'm literally just a passionate girl. And when I stand for something I believe in, best believe you're gonna hear it. But I don't do it in an aggressive way. And I really wish people would stop labeling me with being aggressive. And I feel like they never do this to any white creator who does what I do. It's always uplifting comments, and to be fair, you never really roast them based on their looks, but you always come for like Black people based on how they look. That's just basically what I've noticed. I could be wrong, but that's like the biggest thing for me.
I can agree. Actually, I can agree. When I first started my channel, obviously a while ago, and I first discovered like the gossiping sites where they were talking about YouTubers, I noticed that they were especially harsher on criticizing dark-skinned Black creators, specifically on how we look. And I made a promise to myself. I was like, I will never search for my name on a gossip site ever.
Really?
Ever. It was that. So I actually first discovered them because my friend was like telling me, I found people talking about me on this website. Not me, they were talking about her. She was a YouTuber. This is like 11 years ago. This is when around the time when I started my channel.
Yeah.
And she told me about these websites, and I was like, there's websites dedicated to gossip. I was like, what? So I went on the website and I searched for her name, and I've honestly never heard somebody talked about this bad. And I was like, is there something that I don't know? Because this girl literally just turns on her camera and does makeup. I'm so confused why this is so mean.
Yeah.
And like, Africans can be pretty mean, but this was like unlike anything I've ever seen in my time. Like, I was just like in shock. And these were like other Black people saying this stuff. So I was just so confused. So then I looked on there and see what they were saying about me, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't subject myself to this anymore. Like, I refuse. So I told myself I would never go back to that. But I did definitely notice there is a difference, and we know that colorism is very much so alive and well.
Yeah.
I can say something 10 times more professional or nicer than another light-skinned Black YouTuber. 10 times they'll be harsher on me.
Definitely.
10 times they're more likely to take what I say out of context, judge me harsher, also judge me longer, like they won't let it go. So I do something they'll be talking about for 3 years, and that can be really quite annoying. I do feel like the standards are higher when you're Black, when you're a Black creator, specifically when you're a dark skin creator. And I have to keep specifying that because we can't ignore that colorism literally does exist.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's woven in so many parts of our everyday lives. Social media is definitely no different. So yeah, I'm with you on that. That's really annoying. Like, sometimes the stuff I'll be saying, I'm just like, it's not even that serious.
Exactly.
Like, out of context, they'll say so-and-so came for, and it's like crazy. Like, even on some apps, like, somebody will say something crazy to me, And I may even sarcastically respond, like, girl, you're trying it. And they'll be like, I can't believe you tried to come
Yeah,
for her.
yeah.
I'm just like, where was that energy with what you just said to me? Like,
exactly,
like,
exactly.
Don't do this.
Do you feel pressure to always like speak on political and social issues, having a big platform? And has there ever been a time where you didn't speak on something and people literally bombarded you and spammed you? And because I feel like a lot of people do hold well-known figures or social media stars or celebrities on this high pedestal, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, to be fair. I don't think it's fair to do that.
I agree. Okay, so I used to very much so side with, if you have a platform, you should speak.
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought about it. And I was like, well, what happens when people don't know what the hell they're talking about?
Yeah.
And they speak anyway?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't like that. Especially when it's maybe something they can't relate to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want white creators being the voice of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually like you to step aside and pass the mic to people who have experienced, you know, that type of treatment, especially living here in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe it's your responsibility because you have a huge platform to speak all the time just because you have a lot of followers. I feel like that's kind of irresponsible. And at one point, like, if you had asked me this question, do I feel pressure? A year and a half ago, I'd be like, the pressure is honestly debilitating sometimes. Like, it really is that bad. And for people, I think what people don't realize is they'll be like, oh, I haven't seen nobody tag your post. It's like, you don't know what my mentions look like. You don't know what my DMs look like. Like, for what you guys don't see, for what you guys do see, a lot of times it's even worse behind the scenes what people are messaging me and saying in a DM. And so I just told myself at the end of the day, like, I'd rather not say anything on something I'm not an expert at or I'm not educated on and look stupid. I'd rather just not say anything. And if people are going to be mad, that's their own fault.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if I speak prematurely, who's going to get the backlash? Not you and you and you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have to be the bigger person and I have to be the responsible person. And I truly do have to pick and choose and say things very wisely, because once you put something out there, you cannot take it back. And I just can't make the mistake of speaking too soon or speaking because people poke me into it. You know, like, I feel like the last time I did something like that, I really regretted it.
Yeah.
And I felt like I really, it wasn't even my business to say anything. I did it because literally everyone was like, where's Auntie Jackie? Where's Auntie Jackie? Where's Auntie Jackie? And it's like, stop. Like, I'm not going to do this anymore. You can mention me and name drop all you want. I'm not going to be out here looking stupid in these streets next time. Because the crazy thing is, they tell you to share your opinion. You share your opinion, they still don't like it. Girl.
Exactly.
So, end of the day, look, if you want, if I feel comfortable speaking, I most certainly will. And if you don't like what I'm going to say, then don't freaking ask for my opinion, period.
I feel like it's crazy because the same people who are like, where's Auntie Jackie? Where's Auntie Jackie? Have you even, like, talked to your family and friends about, like, have they even educated themselves? Have you asked them if they're aware about this? I feel like they come to social media stars instantly before their friends and family. It makes no sense. Get onto your friend for not being educated about it. I do think people do hold people on this high pedestal. It makes no sense because, I'm not going to lie, a lot of the times they will let you down. You can't expect someone who you don't know, never spoken to before, to just be perfect and do everything you tell them to do. Make sure the people that you do know in your life have actually educated themselves. If they haven't, then I'm not saying it's your job to educate them, but, like, make them more knowledgeable about a lot of things. So they're going to the wrong people. That's pretty much what it is. So what do you okay, now about the beauty industry and the beauty community, what do you think of the state of the beauty community in 2020? Because it's a little bit weird and confusing. I feel like things have definitely changed since 2015. What do you think? Because you're definitely in there, so I imagine it's just confusing.
It's, I don't know, it's weird, you know, like, right now, I feel like, do people care about makeup? Like, especially now, because everyone's wearing masks, a lot of us aren't leaving home, we can't do things freely the way that we used to at the beginning of the year. So it is very confusing. It's confusing for us too, because we're in it and we're like, I mean, our audience is not receiving, like, our audience hasn't been into beauty this year the way that they were 2-3 years ago. I also feel like conversations about beauty have shifted in that, you know, a while ago, it was like full coverage, full glam, be Instagram ready. And now everybody cares about skin, glass skin, less is more. It's kind of cool. Like, I like seeing the shift in, like, conversations conversations and trends. But to be honest with you, I think beauty will always be a thing.
Definitely.
I just feel like the conversations about what's at the forefront of it is different now than it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Do you also feel like it's scandals that's been pushed in the front compared to artistry and creativity?
Probably like 2 years ago. I feel like that's kind of calmed down though, don't you think?
Last year was hectic. This year it's calmed down a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like this year it hasn't been the driving force of, like, I feel like 2-3 years ago, if you got a scandal, you were gonna pop off. Like, you were gonna benefit from it. And I feel like now, like, I don't think people want to support those kind of creators anymore. You know?
So what do you think has been the main difference from... Because 2015 YouTube was very lit. I'm not going to lie, it was very lit. Everyone was on there. There was tons of trends. What do you feel... Yeah. What do you feel like has been the biggest difference, 2015 and 2020? Is there like a trend that's just completely different? Is it like thick eyebrows now? What is it for you?
I mean, I'll definitely have to reference again, like, the skin being, like, the biggest thing. Like, complexion products are really popular, and different types of complexion products. So maybe not something that's full coverage. Maybe something that's a little bit more light medium. You know, we saw the Rare Beauty, and, like, everybody was, like, acting like they'd never seen that. I mean, I do like some of the products from Rare Beauty, but it's like, girl, like, let's not act like we've never seen natural makeup. Like, really, like, and I did a review on it. And people were like, well, not everybody wants a full cake face. And I'm like, well, I don't either. I just think it could be improved, you know? But, yeah, I think, I just feel like people want to look less Instagram perfect, and they want to be more themselves.
Yeah.
Which is kind of good, you know?
Okay, so we've spoken a lot about 2020. How's your mental health been throughout the entire year? Has there been times where it's dipped and then gone up again? And where are you at right now?
This has probably actually been one of the more steadier years for me for my mental health, which is surprisingly really good, considering the pandemic, everything else surrounding it, starting a new business in the middle of a pandemic at that.
Yeah.
I've been really, like, my family has an entire history of mental health issues.
Yeah.
I have my own personal history with it as well. So it's kind of like, that journey is very non-linear. It's like some days you're up, and then some days you need a little improvement, you may be a little down. So this year's been, like, really steady. It's like I haven't dipped too far low where I've needed to, like, bring myself back up. I haven't had anything traumatic happen to me this year. Like, really, it's been, I can't even say it's been good. It has been good. It's still been challenging.
Yeah.
But it's been steady. I haven't had to worry about hitting rock bottom. You know, I'm not like, I don't know. I just feel like it's been really steady.
I think you're really lucky in that sense, because a lot of my friends are definitely still struggling, because we're currently in lockdown again, the second lockdown. So, you know, whenever I call my friends or text them, it's just a confusing time for everyone, because people are at university, but they're not at university because you can't go into the building. You have to do it from home. So everything's just changing. So we kind of have to adjust to that. For me, I think if there's ever been a decline in my mental health within this year, September, because it was like the transitioning period of, we get to go out again, but after a couple of months, it doesn't feel the same anymore. You don't know what to do with your time. So there's just so much thoughts and opinions that I have in my head. And I feel like maybe I never really spoke to people as well and communicated well. Maybe that was my little issue. But definitely September was the worst month for me. But I'm definitely better now. And I think that when you attend to your mental health, that's always a good thing. Never, ever just push it to the side and try. Like, distraction is good to a certain level. There's only so much you can take. There's only so much you can do. So that's definitely my tip for anyone who's watching right now. Never decline your mental health.
I agree.
Okay. So, what are some things that you like to do in your spare time? And what are some things nobody would know about you?
Oh my God, this is the hardest question to answer, because I feel like some things that nobody would know about me. Well, okay, spare time, like, I'm not gonna lie, I do like to shop. I lately started, like, really actually enjoying being physically active, which is, never thought I'd say this. Yeah. But I willingly get up and do my workouts every day, and I love them, which is fun. And a lot of my hobbies are, like, the stuff that you guys see me do. Like, I genuinely love the process of putting on makeup. Like, that is a part of my everyday, not every day, but, like, my self-care routine. My skincare routine is my self-care that's therapeutic for me. It takes me like 20, 30 minutes because it really is like a hobby for me. I'm like masking and I like massaging things in.
Yeah.
So I try to take advantage of those things while I can, honey, because, you know, like I won't always have that much free time. Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm so basic. Like I don't do anything adventurous like knitting or I don't do there's no like really cool thing that I mean at least not yet. Oh, I was at the beginning, late summer, I was learning Yoruba, which is my native tongue. It was a little challenging, but yeah, that's something that I was kind of doing.
That's good. At least you've been trying it out. That's really good. I have to say though, your skincare routine is it's long. It's long, but in the end, we see the results. So it's worth it. Definitely. Okay, so next question is favorite YouTubers you like to binge watch. Just give me like 3 go-to YouTubers.
Ooh, okay. So
and don't mention me.
I was literally just saying that. Well, okay. Not mentioning Itzkeisha. Yeah. I really like Impressive TV. She's another really good content.
Her voice is so soothing, isn't it?
Who?
Her voice is very soothing.
It is. She has like a really specific, unique voice.
Yeah.
She's hilarious. I really like her. I like Daytime Tea Time TV. She's another commentary channel. Who else I've been watching? I don't watch a lot of Real Housewives, but I watch it on YouTube. So technically, but yeah, I've been watching that a lot. You know what I also really love? I love those like weird countdown YouTube channels where they're like top 10 princes that had it's like these weird. Have you ever seen those videos?
I've seen it.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about. It's like top 10 countries that have a dictator, or it's like these weird random facts channels. I love those YouTube channels because it's like they're informative. I don't really have to like sit there and be glued to my phone watching them. Like I can listen to them while I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
So I kind of like those channels. I went through this like period. I go through these periods where like I'll binge watch one topic and like I will not stop. So at one point I was watching like nothing but Scientology documentaries from like ex-Scientology. Girl, I was in the rabbit hole. These people be dragging Scientology money. It was like Leah Remini, like going from one documentary to it was like a whole rabbit hole. I was obsessed. And then there was another time where I was like obsessed with like alien video. I don't know. I just go through my moments.
Okay, so I'm sorry, but that actually shocked me when you just said that you like to watch like top 10 facts about this, that, and the other. I'm thinking the ones that I've seen could not be the ones you've seen because it's just for me some of them are boring. It depends what the topic is though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they're good. Oh my god, you know which ones are really really good?
Which ones?
Okay, have you ever watched the ones that talk about like dinosaurs? Yo, the dinosaurs one. This one video that literally like created a whole entire simulation of what it looked like when dinosaurs were killed. Like showed the whole 48 hours leading up to what happened before, like how dinosaurs died, like all got extinct, and then it showed like it was the aftermath.
See, that's interesting. Yeah, that one's interesting. That one
was good, and it was like an hour long. Really? And I like to watch stuff about like ancient Egyptians and like the Romans. Girl, let me tell you something. YouTube, you can learn everything on YouTube.
Exactly, it's really true. You can find anything. Okay, sis, tell me some of your favorite shows to watch at the moment. And also, are you a Netflix girl?
I am.
Okay, cool.
I actually just watched Tammy Otedola's movie Citation, which was really, really good.
Yeah.
I just started watching, because you know they have Netflix Nigeria now.
Yeah, they do.
On there. I've been binging on those lately too. But I really enjoyed Tammy's movie. That was really good. That was her first ever role. I watch all the Real Housewives. Literally have finished almost all of them. I'm on one season of New York.
Which one's the best?
Define best. Like messy?
Yeah, because I only watch Atlanta. So like, if there's something messier than that, then tell me.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Stereotypes are very real because people love to say Atlanta's messy. But these white women in New Jersey, honey, these white women in New Jersey are mess. Oh my god, the girl.
I need to watch it then. I need messy.
Flipping. Oh, the mess is so deep. can tell this mess has been brewing. This is like family lineage mess. I mean, New Jersey's pretty bad. New Jersey's pretty bad. Like the first, I think 3-4 seasons are bad. Like it's messy. But I did really, really like New Jersey. Potomac is really good. You just have to get to the first season. The first season is weird.
Okay.
I mean, my favorite. Ooh, it's hard to say what my favorite is. I'll probably say. I honestly gotta say Jersey. Like Atlanta, it's Atlanta. Like
yeah,
that's not. I love it, but I like the fact that like Atlanta, like I feel like I'm looking at people that I know.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the most. I relate the most to Atlanta.
Yeah.
But I find New Jersey to be the most entertaining because it's the most dysfunctional. But I'm glad that the Black franchise is not the most dysfunctional.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want it to be the most dysfunctional. But yeah, I like the friendship and the camaraderie they have in Atlanta. I think it's cool. Like at the end of the day, they may have their moments, but they still, like, you can tell there's genuine friendship there, you know?
Okay, so we have only a few more questions left. We're coming towards the end of this interview. It's been fun so far, though. I hope you've been enjoying the cozy, comfortable vibes. I hope it's not too much. I hope it doesn't feel like an interview, basically.
Nah, it doesn't.
Okay, cool. So next question is, what's been the highlight of your year so far?
Highlight of my year has definitely been launching Forever Mood. I mean, that was just like...
I'm going to leave all your details down below as well in the description. Don't worry, I've got you.
Thank you. So launching my lifestyle brand Forever Mood was definitely a pivot because like when we first announced like I'm launching a brand, we didn't say what it was for the first like couple weeks. And so I think everybody expected it to be makeup.
Makeup, yeah.
So it was definitely risky because I'm like, well, it's not makeup. Are people still going to support it?
Yeah.
And they have, and they've just been really coming through, and it's been really fulfilling.
Yeah, I imagine.
It really has been.
Do you personally feel like influencers deserve free trips and free gifts? Because I know how I feel, but please go first.
Let me tell you something. Don't get me started on this one. I have a very unpopular opinion about this one. And I will get on my soapbox when it comes to this topic specifically. I have very strong opinions about this topic. Very strong. So, what I want to say about that specifically is, once again, unpopular opinion, and I'm just saying this from a professional point of view.
Yeah.
I think that the sooner people stop looking at PR, trips, brand trips, the sooner people separate those things and stop looking at them as like gifts and presents, I think the sooner we can move forward and not take it so personally. Because it's like, guys, like, it's a very quid pro quo type of relationship, having a relationship with a brand. Let's be very real. I get something by giving you this product.
Exactly.
I get advertising by giving you this product. I gain something by going on a trip. It's an equal exchange. They don't just give those things because they think I'm a nice person. They don't give those things because they like my personality.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, my personality, like being likable, is a bonus. But they're not rewards. They're not like, oh, you're so sweet. I met you in, in 05. I just wanted to, hey, girl, I just wanted to send you Bora Bora. No, like, at the end of the day, when brands have to advertise. Like, nobody is going to run a successful company by not spending money on advertisements. The thing is like, nobody cares about commercials anymore. Nobody cares about infomercials anymore. Nobody cares. Billboards are still relatively successful, right?
Yeah.
But the traditional way of advertising has changed a lot. Now it's all about, like, how do you advertise your products and your brand digitally? So that may come through working with influencers, working with content creators, or even like hiring a celebrity to be the spokesperson of your brand. At the end of the day, they have to spend money on advertising somehow, some way. It's just up to them how, like, they have to decide, is this going to be more beneficial for me than booking a commercial, spending $70,000, $80,000 and not necessarily getting a return on my investment? Or would I rather work with a bunch of influencers who have a more organic relationship with their audience? I can advertise my product and my return on investment may be greater based on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely, like I said, I have very strong opinions about this because people, I've seen people say things like, why don't brands do things like this for their loyal loyal customers, and it's like because they don't gain anything from it.
Exactly, it's true.
And that's the truth. That's not me being mean. Like, it's just the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have to gain something from it. Like, think about how much money they would lose. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, like, this is just the way that how businesses work.
Yeah.
We live in a capitalist country. I invent this. This is how it is.
Yeah.
But, like, think about how much money they would lose if they just gave product away to any and everybody whenever they felt like this person was nice. Like, they would lose money. They wouldn't even have a business. They wouldn't even be able to maintain the business. The business wouldn't exist.
It's very true. Yeah. Yeah, you answered that perfectly. That shouldn't even be an unpopular opinion. I mean, to be fair, I understand where people are coming from, but like you said, people need to move past the idea of it being PR, because it is a business thing.
It is PR, though. That's what I'm saying. They have to stop separating it and thinking, oh, like, you get gifts, you get presents.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
I don't get this stuff because they like me. I get this stuff because the likelihood of them gaining something from it, and that gain is advertisement. That's why they send it. They have to. They have to advertise their product somehow, some way. It's just not via, brands are just not doing commercials anymore. They're doing digital advertisement. That would be like me. So
yeah.
And that's why people take it so personally, because they think it's like presents, or like when I say things like I've said, hey, stop giving out my address when you want to send me products.
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to come to my team. Hey, we want to send Jackie's product. Can you please have a P.O. box?
Yeah.
Like, that should be something that I have the right to opt in or opt out of. You don't get to just share my address without my consent. Like, that's actually a really personal thing. And when I said that, people are like, you should be grateful that you're even getting things. And I'm like, what part of privacy?
Exactly.
What part of privacy? What do you mean grateful? I should be grateful. It's almost like a guy gets your number from someone and he calls you and he says, you don't know this guy. He's on your phone. And he's like, you should be grateful that someone's interested in you. Like,
exactly.
It's so strange. But yeah, it was weird because like people literally tried to drag me for saying I have the right to privacy. And
you
just
can't.
Like, are y'all okay?
Jackie. Unfortunately, this sucks. But it's like you can't say anything anymore. Which leads me to my next question: have you ever been cancelled, and do you believe cancel culture has ever had its benefits?
Ooh, I don't think cancel culture has any benefits. Like, because, and that, I think that depends on who you ask. Like, some people believe all publicity is good publicity. I don't believe that. Most people, please leave me out the mess.
Leave her out of this.
I don't believe in negative publicity being good at all. I mean, of course I've been canceled. Everybody with like more than 20,000 followers at some point has probably been canceled. And to be honest with you, I used to take it so personal. Like, Itzkeisha, I used to be so hurt.
Really?
Like people, because I went from being the underdog to now, where I am now. People will sniff for a reason to drag me in. They will sniff. They will look for any. They don't even care anymore.
So what do you do? Do you log off Twitter?
Yeah, social media. Well, at first, it's very different because like at first, it was like, oh yeah, like I was like everybody's favorite auntie. People never used to bother me. Like, I used to never really ruffle feathers, and then it's like the bigger I got, the more like, oh, she thinks she's better than Anna. It became like that. So that was kind of hard for me to adjust and work around because I was not used to that. I was used to being like relatively pretty highly favored amongst other people. So I used to take it really personal, and then I was just like, you know what, like everybody gets dragged. Like that's literally what I told myself. Everybody gets dragged. Today they'll be talking about me. Tomorrow they'll be talking about someone else, and they won't care. Like, just get over it. It's not that deep. Don't take it personal.
Exactly. Okay, so let's quickly touch on the UK quickly. So, do you know any UK slang?
Oh my god, I do. This is my favorite question. I do.
Oh no. I don't know if I'm ready to hear it. I don't know if I'm ready to hear it because you have an American accent, so I don't know if I'm ready for that because it might sound just weird. But go on, try it.
It probably will. Wait, am I supposed to say it in a British accent?
Say it how you feel comfortable saying it.
Well, because Dennis will be like, "Oh, you taking the Mickey? You taking the Mickey?" Or he'll say like, he says mate, he says lad. He say, "Are you joking me?" I'll be like, "What?" The taking the piss one definitely threw me off. Oh, and he says instead of like the hood, he'll say the ends.
Really?
I thought that was funny. Wow.
Okay,
do you do that too?
Okay, no. I don't.
Like where he's from?
From where he's from, yeah. Okay, so let me teach you one word. So, do you know what peng means?
Yeah, I learned what I actually learned that on Twitter.
Okay, what about...
He doesn't say that a lot, though.
Really? Is that what he said to you?
No, he doesn't use peng like that.
Okay.
I hear that one on Twitter.
Okay, cool. See, I wanted to teach you that one, but now you know it. Fam, you know what fam means, right?
Oh yeah, we use that too.
Fam.
We use that too. Yes.
Forget it. If I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Chances are I've probably already heard it or used it.
Okay. Oh, that's embarrassing. I was ready for this question, Jackie.
It's really funny because sometimes when we'll eat out and stuff, people have no, like, if we'll order food.
Yeah.
It's even the way you guys say, you guys have different names for different foods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I remember the first time he ever ordered calamari, he said, "Oh, do you have any squid?"
Oh, yeah.
Are you okay? And the waiter even looked at him like, squid? And I was like, what? But then he was like, "Oh, calamari." And I was like, so sometimes we go to restaurants and he usually does ask for squid. That's his favorite food.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like, "It's calamari. Sorry." Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, Jackie. So, the final question I have is, 2020 has been a chaotic year for us all, but what important things have you learned about yourself, about people, and brands? That was a good question.
That was a good question. You know what? And this is going to sound like really depressing, but like, to be honest with you, with social media, it's a very like, we love you today, we hate you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you can't even let the good parts of social media get to your head because you're going to crumble.
Yeah, that's very true.
You're not perfect the moment you're not praised. So I just have to like really work on, or I have worked on my own confidence coming from myself and not just praise online so it doesn't get to my head.
Yeah.
And that's something I feel really, really, like I've been really good at. It's just, you're here today, you're gone tomorrow. Everything is temporary. One day you're someone's favorite, the next you're someone's enemy. You know, be good within you so that you don't have to, you know, take what's going on online or what people are saying about you online. You don't have to take that so personally. Just be right within you.
That's dope, honestly. Do you have any future projects you're working on? Anything you can say or not really?
Well, definitely future collections with Forever.
Ooh, okay.
Some and in the future, 2021, some non-candle related products.
Okay.
I'm really excited about. And I mean, I can't really say too much. So I'm just leaving that.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Jackie, for just joining me on today's episode. Honestly, I really do appreciate you just even saying yes to this, because you could have said, "No, bitch, I'm busy." And I would have been like, I'm not gonna lie, it would have hurt me, but I'd be like, okay, yeah, fair enough, she's busy. So thank you so much for coming on today's show. I hope you guys watching right now can learn something new about Jackie and realize that there's always something to an influencer. People need to stop basing it on scandals or... Because I feel like, obviously, to a certain extent, we keep our personal lives private. Whilst you do vlog, you keep a lot private. So having this, you know, interview be up on my channel, people can just realize that there is this maybe calmer side to Jackie. There is this, I don't know, hype side to Jackie. There's this fun side. Whatever it is, you didn't expect Jackie to be like. I'm telling you, she's like that. Okay? You've been super fun on today's episode. Thank you so much again. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, the last thing that I want to say is, get over it, get over it. Get over it.
I'm gonna cry. I'm literally gonna go to bed.
Sing that part. Wait a minute. Keisha. Okay. Can I just tell you? Every time I watch your videos, the intro would come on. I know you haven't been using it. You haven't really been using it recently.
No, she knows me too. Guys, she watches me. Because some people can say, yeah, they watch you, but they don't watch me. You watch me.
I actually watch your videos. So the intro would come on, and I would never, like, actually look at the screen when the intro would come on. And then one day, I was, like, actually sitting there watching your intro, and then at the end, it said, "Yes, that's me singing." I was like, "Miss Keisha!"
Not Miss Keisha.
I was like, wait, this is, like, her actual song?
Yeah.
You know, I thought you plugged that as, like, because it sounded to me like a That's So Raven intro. Like, I thought you plugged that from, like, a show.
Nah.
I thought it was, like, the intro to a show that you were using for your own videos.
Nah, it's all me, sis. Thank you. Honestly, no, seriously, I didn't expect that. So thank you so much for all the love and support. And honestly, cannot wait to see you continue growing and prospering. So thank you once again. And I'll definitely chat to you very soon, Jackie.
Thanks, Keisha.
Bye-bye, sis. Take care. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You too.